Let's go to the political contest of the moment in this country and cross to Melbourne, where the only debate of Victoria's election campaign is going to be held tonight, right here on Sky News at 6:30. Chief Anchor Kieran Gilbert will act as the moderator, and he joins me now from Box Hill, the venue there. Kieran, are they warming up in the rooms? Do you reckon they'll be? They got the spin meisters in there and jumping around, slapping each other on the face, getting fired up for this one?
Tommy Radonica style. Maybe, I'm not sure. They've both got rooms upstairs. I do know they've both prepped pretty significantly for it, Chris. But you can see behind me, it's a beautiful one of those old town halls here in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne at Box Hill. But the reason where this has been chosen as well, Chris, just at about 500 metres from here is the Box Hill Hospital. It's got some of the worst emergency department waiting times, more than 400 people stuck in the ED for more than a day in the June quarter. Plus, this is where the suburban rail loop ends. So it's a marginal seat. So that's why this is a pretty good snapshot. I'm fascinated to see what the audience raises tonight, though, because as you know, and as you and I have discussed over the last few years, it's been a pretty difficult, divisive time in Melbourne and Victoria. Well, that is, as ever with these forums, Kieran, something really to look at. What does the audience rate as the issues? What do they want to ask about? It'd be fascinating to see how many are concerned about pandemic overreach or happy about the way Daniel Andrews ran the pandemic response. The other one I think that is interesting is ambulances and hospitals, as you say. They're the two issues that outsiders might think might be raised by these questioners, but we never know where they'll come from. We don't, and that's the beauty of it. It is unpredictable, and our viewers would know, having watched news conferences with all politicians, state and federal, they can duck and weave and get around questions from journalists. It is a very different story when you've got 100 voters in the room and they're being asked a question. Sometimes it can be really emotional, a story about someone's experience at a school or a disability service or whatever else. We've seen them come up. And when you and I were at the South Australian Forum, we saw that was a pretty key moment in that campaign where Malinauskas performed extremely well against Stephen Marshall, and Peter Malinauskas, front page of the Advertiser the next day, KO for Mally. So it can give a really big kick of momentum late in the campaign. It sure can. Malinauskas killed it in that one, and a big risk to have this just days out for the campaign. Fantastic for you, fantastic for Sky News and our viewers. Tell me how much spite you're expecting between these two. Over the last few days, they've been really attacking each other about the style of politics. We've even heard the word Nazi invoked. It could get quite willing between them. Absolutely, and our viewers might not recall, Chris, but I was looking as part of the research into tonight's forum back to when the last election was held, and Matthew Guy said, "I'm never going to phone again and make a concession to Daniel Andrews," and sort of implying, and he said he's not a gracious person. He didn't go into what was said in that call, but there's no love lost between those two individuals. So it's going to be super interesting to see the dynamic between Matthew Guy and Daniel Andrews. Very interesting as well to see how much of that legacy of COVID comes up. Do undecided voters still feel aggrieved about it? Do they want to look forward? Where that goes, we don't know. And as we say, that's the beauty of it. It is unpredictable, but it's accountability, and they can't duck and weave. So make sure, I implore our viewers to watch at 6:30 p.m. I'm very much looking forward to it when we kick off here. I bet you are, mate. Break a leg. It's going to be a cracker People's Forum. Thanks very much, Kieran Gilbert there, our Chief Anchor. Thank you. This one so late in the campaign when the polls are coming together. This is a cracker. You don't want to miss that tonight at 6:30, wherever you're watching around the country.